Once you've enabled the add-in solver, and if you didn't get there, there's a document in eCollege on how to enable it. You're going to select the Data tab and select Solver. All you're going to need to do is follow along exactly what your book tells you is about what Mr. Bird wants. The objective is for the value in net margin ratio to be 15%. So a value of 15%. And in order to get there, we're going to change the sales value and the number of units sold. So we selected those two cell addresses. Then the constraints. It said that the revenue per unit cannot exceed $1,100. So we selected cell reference B3 less than or equal to $1,100. The number of units sold cannot exceed 250, and the total variable expenses cannot exceed $110,000. So when we did the solve, it went through and it made those changes for us. But what we want to do is be sure that we get an outline report, and we want to save the scenario. Now this scenario would be your IS1, which is Information Specification 1, and guess where it's going to be stored? It's going to be stored with the what if analysis. Now here's the answers that you received by modifying those two values and keeping us in the constraint. We have a net margin ratio of 15%. So now he can see how many he's going to have to sell in order to get that kind of ratio, and then what his sales value will be. So if you go back to what if analysis with your scenario manager, there is your scenario that you just set up with Solver. Then you can go back to the original and do a show and close, and you're back to the original. So you need to use Solver to finish 2 and 3 and then complete the pie chart. Now the most important part of this is not just getting the numbers right. You need to do an analysis on what you've done and what happens when you make a change to some of these values. So there's implementation concerns that you need to read, and then there'll also be a Word document that accompanies this, and you're to answer the questions that go along with the test your design. And one of the Word documents will be that deliverable as well as your completed spreadsheet.